In fact, a change of command ceremony was scheduled for tomorrow. In New York City, anti-police protesters have been out in the streets already today, and they're planning a big rally in the Apple tonight, as we hear from Scott Pringle.
These protesters are demanding a little more than change.
We are abolitionist movement. This is not, we're not calling for reform. We're calling to abolish the NYPD.
Abolish the NYPD?
Absolutely.
And replace it with?
With communities. Strong communities make policing obsolete.
Because we're not a group that believes that the NYPD can be reformed into anything good.
Several groups here like Black Lives Matter and Millions March NYC are having discussions and workshops and hanging out, eating. Look similar to the Occupy Wall Street crew from a few years back. And they claim there's no accountability in police-involved shootings of black people. At City Hall Park, Scott Pringle, New York.
And 2 Southwest Airlines unions want the CEO and other top execs to be replaced. The pilots and mechanics unions issuing a vote of no confidence in CEO Gary Kelly after the airline experienced a computer outage that canceled thousands of flights 2 weeks ago. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
Have you been to Conservative Tribune?
We're here to fix the machine. Battlefield Live.
You're listening to the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey from the Lanterns Radio Network, WGSO 990 AM New Orleans, and the Battlefield Live radio program. Thank you for joining us on the Battlefield today. And I'm really excited today, Trey. Last week I had a couple days. I was out, and the week before that on vacation. So it's kind of like I feel like I'm on again, off again. And
right.
This week is going to be a full week. I'm excited. I'm really, really happy to be on board, man.
No doubt.
So you've been keeping an eye on all these polls and all that?
Well, I think coming out of the Democratic National Convention, everybody's looking at, the bump and all this other stuff. And all we heard, going into the Democratic National Convention was the Trump bump. And all they talked about how, he had, he picked, he's up 7 points and this is, incredible and all this other stuff. And now they're saying that you really won't know if this helped Hillary until the end of the week, but in some polls it's showing her up as much as 7 points. That's a 14-point swing, and that's not even the full effect of the bump.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're just barely a week out. We're not even a week out of the DNC.
Right.
And we're seeing these polls all over the place. And look, we got a whole lot of stuff to cover today, folks. And Trey, I got some pretty good polls that we can look at and kind of dig around in. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And also, I wanted to get into what's going on with what I would call the old media and the new media and how they're now starting to curb free speech. It just happens to be this happens to be right around the election time.
Right.
I'm sure it's coincidence. Right?
Oh, total coincidence.
Yeah. So, other than that, we got some really good news with Lanterns Radio Network. We got some things that are unfolding, and we got some great people coming on board, and that's only going to make the Battlefield Live radio show that much better. And as we collect with all of our other friends and family in the Lanterns Radio team, we'll be sharing a lot of information as it comes about. And if you haven't yet, you can go to lanterns.buzz and check out the website there. You'll actually get a sneak peek on the new website. We're in the process of the beta testing right now, and it's not something we're out heavily promoting yet, but you can take a look at it and tell us what you think. Also, make sure you go to battlefield.buzz. That's where our show page is, and you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/lanternsbuzz, and you can also follow us on Twitter at lanternsbuzz. So Trey, you had a good weekend?
No, I am working like a dog. I'm working like crazy long hours, and I'd much rather be doing nothing or anything else other than full time. So it's all good. This is a bright spot in the day for me. I get to come in and get to talk to our audience and talk with you and pontificate and
it's
wax
like,
eloquent on the airwaves.
It's kind of like where all the work all the work is done. It's now time to talk. But so check this out, dude. So this week, obviously in Prairieville, we're close to New Orleans, the South. It's a lot of moisture and things like that. And my wife's been bugging me, and I've been putting off this little, I don't know, one of our windowsills in the house had like a little soft spot in it. It looked like maybe there was some wood that was rotting. We had a leak there. So Barbara's been,
Barbara said, according to her Facebook post, because everybody follows Barbara.
It's up public now.
That it was termites.
Dude, let me tell you, okay? So,
dude, you got termites.
Dude, first and foremost, it's the South, right? So termites are everywhere, right?
Like roaches, right? Like it's no big deal. If you got roaches in your house, it just means that you live in the South, right?
Yeah. So for most termites are terrible down here in Louisiana. And so I've been kind of like putting it off because I knew this was going to be anytime you dig a hole in the wall,
right,
it's going to be a major repair. And I'm a handyman, I'm a do-it-yourselfer. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to commit. I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to do it this weekend. So,
do you really consider yourself a do-it-yourselfer?
Would you think that I'm not?
No. I'm just. Do you really consider, a do-it-yourself? Are you like a BYO guy, a DIY guy?
I don't even know what all that means.
Well, DIY is do it yourself.
Twitter world has ruined us.
Right, and then if you
BYOB?
Yeah, like bring your own beverages or bring your own, because if we can figure out how to segue from your termite story, I've got an incredible Venezuelan BYO story for you.
Okay, so let's try this.
All right.
And BYO stands for
bring your own.
All right, so I'm gonna build this beautifully. Check this out.
Okay,
you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so I decide, I'm gonna take the windowsill up, and I start digging around in there. And all of a sudden, I realize, all right, so it's probably a little worse than I thought. You could tell that the wood is kind of rotten. So I'm gonna take a little piece of the sheetrock out. So, basically from each end of the window, I notched out the sheetrock, open it up, and of course there it is. There's termites, and it's not real bad, and they haven't been digging into the members of the framing of the house.
Right.
So it's like, all right. So then Barbara goes, well, you didn't check the other windowsill. So I go look at the other windowsill, and it's like one little bitty spot in the corner. It's like a little soft spot. I'm like, all right, I'll check. And apparently the termites are loving the windowsills. The windowsills are like, very tasty, apparently. It's like, I guess it's like drive-through McDonald's wood or whatever. Anyway.
Right.
So I said, all right, I'll go ahead and pull the other windowsill. I might as well, since I already ripped the other stuff out. Dude, when I pulled that windowsill, it must have been like, I don't know, 200 termites hit the floor.
Like dead ones?
No, live ones. And then Barbara, she's like, what's that? I was like, just stay over there. Don't come over here. Because Barbara is like Clint Eastwood when it comes to like the wasps. Yeah. Dude, she carries in 2 holsters the freaking, what do they call that? The wasp spray. And she is on a mission whenever they hear the wasps. So as soon as she saw the she saw the termites, that was it. She was off to the races to go get bug spray. So basically what she did was she came back and she brought her own. You see how I did that?
No, I was definitely feeling that.
All right. So she brought her own stuff to kill termites. So we are do-it-yourselfers. We're bringing our own. So what's going on in Venezuela?
All right. So in Venezuela, we now have a situation.
Oh, is that Indian music or something?
No, man, that's Barbara getting ready to take care of those.
She's gonna take them out or what?
She's gonna take them out, man. But not nearly as bad as in right now in Venezuela. How bad is it, you ask?
How is it?
Impoverished Venezuelan hospitals are now going BYO medicine.
Bring your own, huh? So, hey, if you have some aspirin, maybe some gauze and some bandages.
If you bring your own bandages and your own gauze and your own medicine and all that good stuff, that's the only way you're going to get help from them because stuff is so limited right now in Venezuela.
Hey, I heard a story about a guy in England that was since the healthcare system is so great in England,
right?
And of course, the people in Britain are known for bad teeth, right? Because the dentistry is terrible up there because they pretty much can't afford it,
right?
And they had a guy that actually went to the hospital because he pulled his own teeth out and he almost bled to death.
That's horrible.
Yeah, dude, listen to that music. I remember as a kid, I had like the soundtrack for all of Clint Eastwood's westerns.
And an amazing thing is not a single one of them was shot in the United States.
No, it was a record too. It was a record.
So, a record of Clint Eastwood's themes. Huh?
How does the sound go when the record goes around the? You did it before. You did this before.
What, the record scratch?
Dude, I gave you the alley-oop and you didn't slam it.
I don't have any. I don't have buttons to press over here.
No. I'm talking about you made the sound yourself. You were talking about how we're devolving as a society into postmodernism and going back to listening to records instead of, MP3.
Oh, you talking about this, right?
That's right. Good Lord.
Like the whole album is just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't had any coffee yet, have you?
No, I don't have anything over here with me right now.
Oh, you need to tighten.
I'm running on the final fumes. Hey, but on a good note, by the way, someone reached out to us. I have a friend that we used to go to church with, and she grew up in Venezuela,
right?
And she's actually going to be reaching out to us because they're doing some charity work. They're doing stuff like shipping goods from the United States to different orphanages and nursing homes to family and friends. And
is this going to be like shipping it to the DNC?
No, because they have people on the ground, so they fly down to Miami, ship it out of Miami to Venezuela, and the brother who is still in Venezuela, he makes sure he gets there. But she's comparing this, bro. She said what her brother and many Venezuelans are going through right now, she's comparing it to what happened in Russia when Stalin let millions of people die of starvation in Ukraine. And she said, sadly, that this story and reporting in Venezuela, a lot of the stuff could be the same. So we're going to have her on the show when they come pass through town. And so stick around with us. 504-556-9696 is the number if you want to be a part of the program with Chris and Trey. This is The Battlefield Live on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans. We'll be right back. Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean, this is totally fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show. Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com. Playmakers.com. Join us at Playmakers Indoor South every summer and holiday for our multi-sport camps. $25 a day, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with before care from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and after care from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. available for $5. Soccer, flag football, basketball, wiffle ball, relay games, lacrosse, and much, much more. Plenty of spots available. Contact Playmakers Indoor Sports, 6124 Jefferson Highway in Harahan, or call 504-305-6078, or sign up today at playmakersindoor.com.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to ingodwetrust.com and get your hope today.
Thank you for sticking with us on the battlefield. You're listening to Chris and Trey from the Lanterns Radio Network. Make sure that you check us out on social media. We are everywhere, including Spreaker.com and SoundCloud.com. If you enjoy the show and you're looking to listen to us a little more, you can listen at your leisure on our podcast, Spreaker.com, SoundCloud.com, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Player.fm, YouTube. Like I said, we're everywhere. All you got to do is a keyword search for Lanterns Buzz. In fact, if you go and just go to Google and type in Lanterns Buzz, you'll find all kind of stuff there as well, including pictures of Trey. Well, I won't mention that. Also, you can find us on Twitter at Lanterns Buzz. We do tweet throughout the show, so if you have a question or comment or you just want to make fun of us, well, you can do that at Lanterns Buzz on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LanternsBuzz. And by all means, go to both of our websites. The Lanterns Radio Network has many like minds as Trey and I, so don't hold that against them. You can find them at lanterns.buzz, and you can also find us there. And you can also find us at battlefield.buzz, website battlefield.buzz. And look, we're everywhere. We're not, WGSO is our home radio station, the Go Day Media Studios at WGSO. We're also on Red Nation Rising as another network, and Red State Talk Radio, as well as ICRN Radio, and we're growing every day. So Trey, I was just thinking about this, what you were commenting about on Venezuela.
What's that?
I find it very ironic that in an effort, and I would give some human beings, as stupid as they may be, the benefit of the doubt, people that are socialist in nature, because I believe that they're ignorant, maybe not stupid, but definitely ignorant. I think that it's just ironic that in an attempt to redistribute wealth, to take care of the poor and the needy, that they are absolutely broke, and the system that they absolutely despise, capitalism, is what's coming to save the day, and we're the ones that are actually, through freedom and liberty, for what we have left of it, are giving freely, without force and tyranny, to the people that are suffering in a place like Venezuela. I just find that very ironic, don't you?
There's definitely irony there. I definitely see the irony in it. And but then again, I see irony pretty much any time that liberalism is put into practice in reality. Conservatism or capitalism, or what I like to call free markets or free enterprise, always typically has to end up saving the day. But it's a lot of times it's because that's the very thing that that is like the vacuum, if you will, that is left by failed ideology of the left. So it's definitely not surprising, and the irony is wonderful. In fact, I don't know if you saw this or not, but there's a breaking story. Matter of fact, it has just come out. The New York Post has announced that because a lot of people were questioning, the New York Post has been in the news over the last 2 days because, well, Melania Trump, right?
Right.
I mean, like that needs to be a story, right?
Right.
But they have come out and they have put out in the most, I think the word they used was in the most stringent way, they are committing to not posting any pictures of Bill Clinton's wife nude.
Yeah, God, I love the New York Post.
No, I mean they have taken a huge step up by making that commitment to the American and really international. I mean, this is something that really could have broken down treaties. I mean, look, I could hear Van Jones in the background. No more broken treaties. No more broken treaties. Give them the wealth. Give them the dignity. You know, I could hear him in the background at when they showed him that picture. He would just break out into Native American green energy treaty talk.
Dude, I might take this spoon that I have in my hand right now and gouge my eyeballs out.
Well, don't do that because I got a better way. There's a thing in your brain called an amygdala, and if you can remove the amygdala, which is about a walnut shape, is right behind the earlobe. So leave your eyes so you can see. But if you can get rid of your amygdala, you'll never have to mentally see images again. So yeah,
maybe if that's what I hear when I rattle my head around, I hear
your amygdala are loose. You just gotta tighten your amygdala up, and that sound will go away.
See, leave my amygdala alone. Dude.
That's what you gotta tell people. Listen, if you're laying there in bed and you're about to fall asleep and your eyes are closed, but you're having you're seeing vivid visions of different things, your amygdala are going crazy. They're working overtime.
I hear. Hey, do we have Joseph on line one?
We do. No, Joseph. I think it's past his bedtime. Joseph, if you're still listening, pick up that rotary phone that you have and call us.
That wouldn't happen to be Newt, would it?
No. That's Brian.
That's Brian. That's right.
Brian.
That's all right.
But anybody want to be a part of the program? 504-556-9696. By the way.
All right. So check this out. Did you happen to check the? It was late in the afternoon that I posted it, but did you have a chance to read my post?
Nope. I just saw the picture, and I wanted to go fishing.
So, are we bloody chum for the elite? As Sarah Palin would say, you betcha. So, I posted this on Lantern's Buzz. You all can check it out if you want. If you want to read it, share it, whatever. But let me tell you, dude, this morning, I was just listening a little bit of the news, and I was getting ready for my day. And I heard all the humbug, about, what is it? I don't even know how to pronounce the guy's name. Khan or whatever.
Wait. You're talking about the
Wrath of Khan?
The Muslim Gold Star father?
Yes.
I mean, look, if I hear one more time, you don't mess with Gold Star. Now, listen, there's probably some people out there that could better explain this. I get it, right? Your kid.
You ain't going to win that battle. It's not like he's a badass. You just ain't going to win the battle.
The media
is going to excoriate you.
Right.
Right? So I'm sitting here, and I'll be honest. Trump is a disaster in so many ways, and I just kind of I'm done with it. I'm kind of like,
you want him to shut up, but you can't have him shut up if he's going to beat Hillary.
That's exactly right. So I just kind of I suck it up and I just couldn't help it anymore.
Right.
And I had to make this post. We'll talk about it after the break. But to me, there's so much in this story that we can peel apart and peel back the layers like an onion. That's what it's like. It's like a stinky damn onion.
All right. Well,
the GOP's pants.
Well, okay. That being said, we're going to have to take our second break here. And when we come back, we'll try to change the GOP diaper and much, much more. So stick around for that. 504-556-9696. Chris and Trey on the Battlefield Live on WGSO 990 AM. Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean, this is totally fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com. Playmakers Indoor Sports is a state-of-the-art indoor turf facility offering leagues, drop-in play, field rental, parties, camps, clinics, and a whole bunch more. Play includes adult and youth in soccer, lacrosse, flag football, and more. For more information, go to www.playmakersindoor.com. Like us on Facebook at Playmakers Indoors South. 6124 Jefferson Highway, Harahan, Louisiana, 504-305-6078.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
Today we ask for the CDC emergency response team that will help with collection efforts, with lab, with mosquito control.
As the Zika virus spreads in Florida, Florida Governor Rick Scott says he has asked the CDC to send an emergency response team to help combat it. The state confirming its first 4 non-travel related cases of the virus last week, and now today, Scott announced 10 more cases, bringing the total number of cases transmitted by mosquito bites in Florida to 14.
The president has authorized these strikes to move forward at the recommendation of Secretary Carter and Chairman Dunford.
That's a Pentagon spokesman confirming that the U.S. is now conducting airstrikes on an ISIS stronghold in Libya. The Pentagon saying Libya's UN-backed government requested the strikes in CERT. It's the first time the U.S. has struck ISIS targets inside that nation. This is USA Radio News.
Hi, it's Angie with Daybreak USA. You know, I've always had flat, lifeless, dull hair. I tried many things to give my hair body and thickness, and finally I just started wearing baseball caps because I was so frustrated with my flat hair. But I did find a solution. It's Cell Therapy by Ovation, a breakthrough treatment found in no other hair care line. They have high levels of nourishing conditioners that coat the cuticle, defending hair against breakage and resulting in thicker, stronger, longer hair. So basically, I had flat hair and now I have full hair. It's that simple. And Ovation is guaranteed to work. There's a 365-day money-back guarantee, a statement of confidence again found with no other hair care product. Ovation Cell Therapy is clinically proven to reduce breakage by over 80%. It really works. I've seen it for myself. Go online to ovationhair.com, and if you're a new customer, get a special introductory discount when you select Angie Austin Daybreak USA at checkout at ovationhair.com, ovationhair.com.
360.
This is Jeff Cruier with my commentary of the day. The media double standard is amazing. At the DNC, the Khan family criticized Donald Trump and talked about their son who had been killed in the Iraq War. As a Muslim family, they generated plenty of positive media attention, putting Trump on the defensive, asking Trump what sacrifices he has made in comparison to the Khans. But what sacrifices has Hillary Clinton made? She's made millions off of her, quote, public service. She didn't wear the uniform either, and she lied to another grieving family, the mother of Sean Smith, killed in Benghazi. She lied to Pat Smith's face. The media ignored her. They fact-checked her. Chris Matthews criticized her. So the media is only interested in certain grieving families, those who can promote the media's liberal agenda. So hopefully the American voters will not fall for this obscene pro-Hillary bias. Let's hope they realize the truth before it's too late. More info on this and the other hot topics of the day, check out ringsidepolitics.com. I'm Jeff Cruier.
I'm Eric Asher. You can always catch us on the radio right here on WGSO 990 AM.
Did you know you can catch us on TV?
That's right, Jeff. We're on WLAE TV.
Join me every Friday on Ringside Politics with a Punch at 7:30 with a rebroadcast Sunday at 10 p.m.
Check me out every Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m., and a rebroadcast Friday at 10 p.m. for Inside New Orleans Sports. That's WLAE-TV, Cox Channel 14, Satellite, and AT&T Channel 32, Charter Channel 11. Don't miss it.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to ingodwetrust.com and get your hope today.
Thank you for sticking with us on the battlefield. You're listening to Chris and Trey, Lanterns Radio Network, WGSO 990. If you want to give us a call, give us a call, 504-556-9696 on the GoDay Media hotline. So, Trey, I don't know about you, but, first of all, I didn't watch any of the DNC. I just caught, some clips here and there.
Oh, I watched it. Oh, did I? Oh, no, me either.
All right, so I was about to get worried there for a moment. So, one of the things that I did notice in the clips that I saw, of course, they had, they paraded all of the different victims up on the stage, the mirage of, filled out all the check boxes, American blacks, women's, women, the LGBTQ, RSTUV, WXYZ group, Muslims, illegal immigrants. They paraded them all out.
Mm-hmm.
And this is so beautifully designed by the shepherds of the sheep in the Democratic Party, right? So, yeah. So basically what they do, and this is standard procedure, they do this on every election cycle, no matter what the election is for, where they pretty much bust out all of the, the different minority groups that are so heavily oppressed
right.
in the American system. And, so as they were doing this, of course, they were all pretty much hammering Trump, right? And as they're hammering Trump in these clips that I saw, I'm cringing, waiting for some crazy half-cocked comment by Donald Trump, or waiting to see something on Twitter, that's just going to get him in a whole bunch of trouble. And as my waiting fulfilled exactly what I was expecting, we did get Donald Trump's comment on Snuffleupagus' program. George Snuffleupagus? Did I say that wrong? Stephanopoulos. You there? Am I talking to myself? Hello? Were you really looking for the sheep click track? That's kind of what it sounded like.
I'm sorry. Somehow or another, my mic was off and the sheep were taking over. I'm being inundated with sheep in here.
Are they all around your feet right now?
Dude, I can't, they took my seat. I have to stand up in here.
That's not donkeys dressed as sheep, is it?
No, and it's all kind of different. You mentioned sheep and they show up, they come out of the woodwork.
Hey,
please be careful with what you're talking about.
It's magically. Imagine if I started talking about dragons or goats or something.
Stop. We don't need dragons showing up. I'm not even sure what kind of sound that dragons would even. I don't even know what kind of sounds dragons would even make.
It would just be hot real quick. That's
probably. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh. You just had to mention dragons.
It's like a Harry Potter film.
Oh, please.
Or, what is it, Game of Thrones? Yeah. So check this out as you swat the dragon away. Large pterodactyl-sized dragons down here in the swamps in Louisiana. So out marches this guy. I don't know a whole lot about him. His name is Khazir Khan or something to that effect.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they marched this guy out. And, of course, he goes after Donald Trump and says, go look at the graves of brave patriots who died defending the United States of America. He says, you will see all faiths, genders, and ethnicities. You have sacrificed nothing to no one. It sounds like something out of the Game of Thrones. So he basically, whips Trump into a frenzy. I could see him freaking out trying to figure out what he's going to do. Okay. And so what does Trump do? Well, he goes on Snuffleupagus' program. And his comment after, Snuffleupagus asked him about his sacrifices. Now, think about this. Here's a national pundit, supposedly a journalist. Basically, what he was a damn front man for the Clinton organization. He ran the war room as a propagandist for the most part, right, for the Clintons. So he comes out and asks Trump about this, about what he had sacrificed, and Trump's response was very emotional and probably looking like this guy to me. Of course, this is all nonsense. I'm reading exactly what he's saying.
Wait.
Let me try.
I like when no. One of my favorite times when we do radio.
Let's try to read Trump quotes.
No. Yes, exactly. Is when you read Trump quotes, dude. That's like the best. So, but I want to do it this time.
You want to try it?
No.
All right, you want me to do it?
I need some sound here.
Okay.
Oh, it's on.
It's like somebody's gargling something.
Let's see. I'm trying to get a little. Here we go. All right, here we go. Little masterpiece theater music as you read.
Should I do this in like an accent?
I know I wouldn't offend the Jews.
I mean, it'd be hard enough to read it than more like hard. Why would it be a Jewish accent?
I don't know. Just thinking
how does a Jew sound?
I'm saying that's why I wouldn't try doing an accent. You don't want to accidentally offend the Jews. We don't need that. We don't need that in our career. Just read it as Chris reading Trump.
We work very, very hard on the battlefield not to offend anyone, including homosexuals, midgets, whatever.
That's right.
So this is Trump. You ready? Was very emotional and probably looked like a nice guy to me. Trump followed with, he said, if you look at his wife, she was standing there. She had nothing to say. Maybe she wasn't allowed to have anything to say. You tell me. I can't do it anymore, dude.
No.
The guy can't even freaking speak. And it's crazy if you listen to him just talking, he makes somewhat sense, right? I mean, it's a very surface level rhetorical sense. But when you read what he actually says in a transcript, I can't even understand what he's saying.
Yes, it is amazing.
How does he this guy is Houdini, right?
Yeah, look, it's clear that if this whole presidential run doesn't work out for him, there's clearly an opportunity for him to do some sort of magic show in Vegas.
So
move over David Copperfield.
Right. So I'm just so flabbergasted that was the response to what this guy said. He could have totally taken the high road. Don't attack a guy that has lost his son in a sacrifice or he's sacrificing his life over in Iraq. I think it was like 2004, maybe. The guy lost his son.
Yeah, and there's been a statement, by the way. The wife has already come out and put out a statement that,
of course,
listen, I could not. It wasn't that my husband didn't let me speak, but just even looking at, I can't even look at the picture of my son who's now dead without tearing. She goes, I knew that I would not be able to hold it together. And so my husband went out there and spoke for the both of us because he was able to hold it together. So
at least for this week, they've pushed Trump into the casket, nailed the nails down, and all we can hear is a mumbling on the inside.
It really is. He's not slowing down. I mean, that's why I said I don't think he can at this point. He can't stop just flipping off at the mouth. That's what got him where he is.
All right, so this is my whole point here. And I don't know how much time we got left, but
we got about 2 minutes, I think.
All right, so this is what's frustrating to me, and we'll talk about it a little bit after the next break. What's so frustrating to me is that the political amateurism here is astounding, okay? We're not in the primaries anymore.
Right.
So in other words, the mainstream media, all the bigwigs, they've all kept their mouth shut as the GOP devoured itself, okay, in the primaries. And out of it came the biggest gift known to man, which is Donald Trump to the DNC.
Right.
Right? And so they get Donald Trump. And what does Donald Trump do? He doesn't change at all. He expects that he's going to maintain the limelight that he did with the media in the primaries. The media loved Donald Trump because he was bringing them so much
viewership.
Yeah. And I mean, it was entertainment at the least. And
even they didn't believe he had a chance.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he thought that he was going to be able to carry this momentum into a general election. Not only do you have to win a majority of Republican voters, but you also have to win a large majority of the country.
Well, Chris, with the country that has selected someone like Donald Trump, when we come back, we're going to have a special guest with us. Bob DORINGO Jones is going to be with us. He serves as a senior fellow for the Center for America, and he's the author of the best-selling Remove Child Before Folding, the 101 stupidest, silliest, and wackiest warning labels ever. This is a segment you don't want to miss. 504-556-9696. We'll be right back after this quick timeout on the battlefield on WGSO.
Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean,
like
this is totally
gyroscope.
fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com. Playmakers Indoor Sports offers youth and adult leagues for soccer and flag football, NFL youth flag football, and youth developmental programs. Playmakers Tots program is a youth development program for children ages 18 months to 7 years. Playmakers Tots uses sports like soccer, football, baseball, and basketball to help kids work on motor development, learn to work together, follow directions, and improve listening skills while learning that activity is fun. To register for classes, go to our registration page at playmakersindoor.com or call 504-305-6078. Playmakersindoor.com. 6124 Jefferson Highway in Harahan.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to ingodwetrust.com and get your hope today.
Thank you for sticking with us on the battlefield. So we got a special guest on the phone. This is going to actually be a very fun and interesting conversation with Bob DORINGO Jones. He's a senior fellow for the Center for America and is also an author of the best-selling Remove Child Before Folding, the 101 stupidest, silliest, and wackiest warning labels ever, which is probably going to be my favorite part of the show.
Oh, this is going to be great. This is the kind of stuff we do on this show. This is the kind of public service that we offer at the Battlefield Live.
So with no further ado, let's bring Bob on the show. How you doing, Bob?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show. Yes, the warning labels that we're going to talk about are only seen in America. And this is one of the interesting things that we've discovered as we've done interviews all around the world every year after we do the Wacky Warning Label contest. And reporters call us from Australia and Japan and Germany and England. They say, why do you Americans have to be warned? For example, a scooter says, warning, this product moves when used.
Oh, listen, Bob, I have several that I'm going to throw at you and kind of test your warning label prowess.
Okay.
And we'll kind of do that toward the end. But I wanted to get into a piece that you wrote just a couple of weeks ago, in where you talk about the warning label contest and how it kind of reveals a sad truth about America. Discuss a little bit about how looking at warning labels kind of reveals something about America.
Well, it reveals, most people don't stop and think about this when they look at the warning labels all around their house and their workplaces, but we live in the most litigious society on earth. And that's why these warning labels are there, because anybody who makes a product or sells a product in America knows that they can be sued if somebody is injured using their product, even if they're not responsible for that injury. So you might find somebody who takes a Dremel wood router, decides to save some money on their dental bill, and goes to work on their teeth, doesn't like the result, and then sues the Dremel makers. And so every wood router today comes with a warning that says, not intended for use as a dental drill.
Oh my goodness, we are in so much trouble.
So Trey, are you saying that we shouldn't be talking about German existentialism?
Oh, I don't have anything to drink right now. No, we probably shouldn't.
Oh, we're doomed.
So clearly that's a great example, okay, where you have you have a tool that no one in their right mind except that one guy, right? And so now everyone else is punished more or less for the foolishness, the stupidity, the unwise behavior of one. Is this the tyranny of the stupid?
Well, that's the point that we try to make, is that all it takes is one. And these other reporters from other countries say, are Americans more stupid than people in other countries, or do they have less common sense? And I always like to point out, no, that's not it at all. You know, we're not any more prone to do something stupid than anybody in Europe or Asia. But if we do it, our courts will allow us to sue. And that's the big difference, because if somebody, for example, a real lawsuit in America, a guy was playing basketball, dunked the ball, caught his teeth in the net, and sued the net makers.
Good Lord.
Hey, that's pretty impressive, though.
Yeah, right. Good jumper. But, you know, that would get laughed out of court anywhere else in the world, but not in America. So that's why with lawsuits like that, always a possibility. We see these common sense, obvious, and wacky warnings.
Well, of course, you know, the whole Star Wars trilogy and all of the new Star Wars universe movies that are going to be coming out. I mean, liberals have a field day with gun control. But if lightsabers ever became a reality, I mean, can you imagine what liberals would do with lightsaber control if that was the case? But look at what the warning labels have done to a Star Wars toy. Explain that to our audience.
Right, and I'll lead it up to that by saying that every year we ask listeners like yours from all over the country to send us these funny warning labels to try to win the $1,000 grand prize. And what we do is we take the 5 funniest that we get, we take them to the John Stossel show and let his audience pick the 3 cash prize winners. So this year, one of the warning labels that was sent to us and was one of our finalists was found on that toy Star Wars lightsaber, and it says, warning, for accessory use only, not to be used as a battle device.
Oh, man, I didn't realize that.
So,
Sorry.
Chris, see, I told you, so you owe me dinner. We bet that you can't use your lightsaber as a battle. I told you that.
Does this kind of go back to like the kids that were playing like D&D back when we were younger, and they like jump in front of cars and expect the cars to stop?
No, wait, no, Bob. What about this new Pokemon phenomenon? You got people holding their phone and walking in the middle of oncoming traffic looking for some kind of Pokemon. I mean, this has got to be right up your alley, right?
Yes, right. And we expect to see some ridiculous lawsuits. We've already seen some accidents where people have threatened to sue where they did something that, like you just said, walk out in the middle of traffic when they should have been looking at traffic instead of looking at their phone. And
I wonder if like the Pokemon creators actually if they were lawyered up prior to the release of this new app.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they absolutely were, and as a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know this, but if there is a dispute, one of the things that everybody does who uses this app, they have to sign off on the terms of use, right? The agreement that nobody reads. But one of the parts of that agreement is that they will go to arbitration instead of civil litigation in the courts if they have an injury. And that is arbitration tends to be less costly, quicker, and not as prone to the crazy, outlandish awards of, say, $1 million for somebody that trips and falls on something. So, but that is something that their lawyers were looking at because they knew that they would probably see lawsuits coming forward that were ridiculous.
Who'd have thought that Pokemon would be taking lives? Just saying.
Right. All right. So Bob, let me. I'm going to run a couple of these by you, and you let me know real or not real. Okay.
Okay.
This first one here. This is called the Jabra Drive and Talk. It's a Bluetooth speakerphone accessory for your cell phone to be used in the car. Okay. And the Drive and Talk does it or does it not carry this contradictory warning label? Never operate your speakerphone while driving.
It absolutely does, because that was one of our winners about 5 years ago.
So it should just be called the Talk and not the Drive and Talk.
Right. Here's a company that set out to make a product that would make it safer for us to use our phones in our cars by not taking our eyes and hands off the wheels. This is, the little speakerphone that clips on the visor. Right. But they have to warn us about using the product as it's legally intended to be used. Crazy.
Right. This one's going to be an easy one here. Nitol. Everybody knows what Nitol is. Okay. It's a sleeping pill. Yet the label says what?
May cause drowsiness.
Right. That's exactly correct.
Is that like where I get confused when my wife tells me to go get a pair of pants and I go try to get two?
No, I think that's Ambien. I think that's not Nitol.
Okay. All right.
Be careful. You might get sued. It's like so many people, the old saying, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Right? That's a reference to the whole Jim Jones, right?
Yeah. See, we're having fun, and then you had to bring up Jim Jones.
I know, but listen, the whole point is that Kool-Aid has been disparaged all these years. It was Flavor Aid that Jim Jones actually served those people.
Hey.
So, yeah.
Didn't know that.
All right, Bob, hold on through the break. When we come back, we'd like to dabble a little more with these warning labels, and then we want to kind of share where people can go to get some of your information. So hang out with us. 504-556-9696. This is the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans. We'll be right back after this quick break.
career host of Ringside Politics. I'd like to introduce WGSO General Manager Richard Tate.
WGSO is locally owned and operated right here in New Orleans. We believe in cultivating local talent and emphasize local programs. If you have an interest in hosting your own program, we have some prime spots available.
Thanks, Richard. Folks, take advantage of this great offer. Email me at jeff@wgso.com or call me at 504-669-6076. Come fulfill your radio dreams at WGSO.
This advertisement does not constitute an offer to sell a franchise. The offer of a franchise can only be made through the delivery of a franchise disclosure document.
Fresh Healthy Vending is a new company that is revolutionizing the vending machine business by filling them with healthy and natural foods. That's right. Protein and energy drinks, teas and juices, yogurts, fresh fruits and veggies, soy milk, natural cereals, granola bars. Can you imagine that? It's like having a whole food store in a machine. And you can get in on the ground floor by getting your own Fresh Healthy Vending franchise. You can have your own small business placing healthy food vending machines all over your area in places like schools and hospitals and businesses and airports and other high-traffic areas. Locations that embrace the idea because, they make money too. Full training and support and assistance in acquiring locations. It's all about timing, folks. Pick up the phone, make the call to Fresh Healthy Vending, and get all the details on what could be your big life moment. Get Fresh Healthy Vending franchise information now. Call 800-424-8282. 424-8282. That's 800-424-8282.
What are you doing to stop traffic when your business is ready to wow the pants off customers? Visit Sir Speedy. We produce quality signs, posters, banners, and more that are just the trick for trade shows, promotions, events, and product launches. Whether you're taking it to the street, the floor, or the counter, bigger is always better. For more information or to get a quote, go to SirSpeedyNewOrleans.com.
Catch the Three Tailgaters Show with Ken Trahan, Ed Daniels, and Rick Gailey Saturday mornings from 10 to noon on WGSO 990 AM New Orleans.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
This is the very beginning of what will be a long and comprehensive investigation.
And National Transportation Safety Board spokesman Robert Sumwalt says they did not find any pre-existing problems with that balloon that crashed in Central Texas Saturday, killing 16 people.
No evidence of pre-existing failures, malfunctions, or problems.
Donald Trump defending his comments about the parents of a Muslim soldier who spoke against Trump at the Democratic National Convention.
When something happens, I want to fight back. I always want to fight back.
After the father of that fallen Muslim soldier says that Trump has made no sacrifices and hasn't read the U.S. Constitution, Trump says it was a vicious attack.
That's part of the problem we have in this country. We never fight back.
This is USA Radio News.
We all want to live long, healthy lives, and we know that smoking is not a part of making that happen. We all know the dangers, but we also know that it's tough to quit smoking and make it stick. And that's where NicoBlock comes in. It comes in a little bottle, and when you put it on the filter of your cigarette, it blocks the inhalation of tar and nicotine. So you got to check this out. Go to nicoblock.tv and find out more. You can also call 877-835-6060. Now, whether this is your first time quitting or your fifth, NicoBlock is your best chance to stop smoking for good. The taste doesn't change, and neither does your satisfaction. But what does change is your dependence on nicotine. And as you increase the number of NicoBlock drops, you'll gradually decrease your tar and nicotine intake. It's that simple. It's gradual. It's effective. Call 877-835-6060. Stop smoking. Make it for good this time. 877-835-6060 or go to nicoblock.tv.
The United States is expanding the fight against ISIS, now staging airstrikes in Libya.
For the first time, the U.S. is conducting airstrikes on an ISIS stronghold in Libya. Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook said Libya's UN-backed government requested the strikes in CERT.
The U.S. military objective is to eliminate ISIL in its key stronghold in Libya.
Cook told a briefing that President Obama specifically authorized the airstrikes.
This is an example of us providing support, military support, for a partner on the ground that is trying to reclaim their country and provide security, stability for their people.
Cook noted that additional strikes will continue to be coordinated with Libyan forces. In Washington, I'm Terry Moore.
Maryland U.S. Senator Barbara Mikulski promising help's on the way for flood-ravaged Ellicott City, Maryland.
And we're ready to go.
Once in a 1,000-year flooding ravaging Ellicott City's Main Street after 6 inches of rain falls in about 90 minutes on Saturday night. This is USA Radio News.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
A new national poll has Hillary Clinton in front of Donald Trump. The CBS News poll out on Monday morning showing Clinton leading the Republican nominee 46% to 39% in the national survey. The race was even a week ago after the GOP National Convention, but before the Democratic Convention. Clinton's unfavorable ratings are down from 56% before the convention to 50% in this latest survey. New York City police are looking for a hacker who harassed and threatened a police captain using police-only radio frequencies. USA's Tammy Rose has that story.
Investigators say the violent threats are not credible, but they are disturbing.
Remember how you put me in jail? I'm out now, and I'm coming to put a bullet in your head.
Police still working to identify the hacker who was able to infiltrate the NYPD radio frequencies, transmitting the messages over the weekend, which he says were directed at a captain in the Midtown South Precinct.
Remember, Captain, I'm coming for you.
Police issued a warning to officers, urging them to use caution when responding to incidents. For USA Radio News, I'm Tammy Rose.
And McDonald's is removing artificial preservatives from its Chicken McNuggets. The world's biggest restaurant chain aiming to attract customers who want healthier, less processed food. The chain's also to cut high-fructose corn syrup from its buns, and it's getting rid of preservatives from its breakfast foods, too. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff.
We're here to fix the machine.
Battlefield Live.
You're listening to the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey from Lanterns Radio Network, the Battlefield Live radio program, the WGSO 990 AM studios in New Orleans. I want to thank you for joining us on the battlefield today. And if you want to reach out to us, there's several ways you can do that, including calling us at 504-556-9696 if you want to speak to us on the air. Or you can follow us on Twitter or reach out to us on Twitter at LanternsBuzz, or reach out to us on Facebook, facebook.com/LanternsBuzz. So on the phone, we do have Bob Jones, who is the author of the 100 stupidest, silliest, and wackiest warning labels in Remove Child Before Folding. So Bob, give us the premise of this book, Remove Child Before Folding.
Yes, we wanted to use humor as a hook to draw people into a national conversation about all the ways that our lives are changing because we live in the most lawsuit-happy society on earth. The sponsor of this contest is the Center for America, which is a 501c3 that's aimed at educating the public about how we can remove the barriers to the free enterprise system. And there are many barriers, but one of the big ones in America is our legal climate. It piles costs on consumers, piles costs on job providers. So we talk about a lot of serious ramifications of that throughout the year. I have a weekly radio program called Let's Be Fair, where we profile stories each week about how the Little League pays and how Girl Scouts and so on. But once a year, we decided, we saw an article in the New York Times in about 1997 that had a Batman cape, and the Batman cape came with a warning label that said, "Cape does not enable user to fly." So in the whole article, isn't that great?
Was that before or after somebody sued him?
Well, after. And
right, because like Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, but like every single one of these labels, they don't really go on until the need for them to go on, right?
Usually, yes. Now, some of them are there because of a lawsuit. Some of them are in anticipation of a lawsuit if they didn't have it there. And the odd thing is that some lawyers even argue that if you have a product with a warning label that warns us against doing something that winds up injuring somebody, that the manufacturer can still be sued because they still produce the product that injured somebody. They said, well, you acknowledge that this could be dangerous, right? And you put the warning label on. So you almost can't win today in America.
Bob, you mentioned that we live in a very litigious society. The last 8 years in American history, of course, is probably going to be known for the seminal piece of legislation passed by the Obama administration with the same name, Obamacare. And during the debate, you heard a lot about ways that you can lower the cost of health care. And, of course, that being tort reform, or you talk about a lot of the putting caps on lawsuits. Can you speak a little bit to that whole idea of how lawyers in America today are driving up the cost of just doing business and how it impedes actual free markets and free enterprise?
Yes, I'm really glad you brought that up, because lost in the debate over nationalized health care was the fact that the country, our insurance companies, and we all pay because of our insurance premiums going up. We pay for defensive medicine, which is essentially doctors ordering tests that are not needed, but they order them because they're afraid if they don't, they'll be sued later by their own patients. And experts have estimated that defensive medicine adds anywhere from $100 billion to upwards of $500 billion a year to the cost of health care because of the fear of lawsuits. And if we could just tackle this issue, and you talked about tort reform, that's just one aspect of it, putting caps on pain and suffering damages. And when we talk about that aspect of tort reform, people often don't realize that when they talk about caps, it's not economic damages, it's not medical damages, it's not cost of care in your home. It's only the hard to define pain and suffering damages that are capped. But we'd like to look at other creative solutions, like we're working with a group called the Patients for Fair Compensation in the Georgia and some other states. They're suggesting we create a whole new system for dealing with medical malpractice lawsuits that would provide more money to victims, take less time, and have less money going to the lawyers. So we all want more for the victims because we know that there are legitimate cases of medical malpractice. And it would create something kind of like a health court. We use different kinds of courts for workers' compensation, for tax tribunals. They're aimed at being more of an administrative court where the person who has been injured gets their due process quicker and at less cost. So that's one way that we could reform the system. So we'd like to see Congress and state legislatures get into this debate more, because there's so much money being wasted today that should be going toward healthcare that's going to basically lawyers instead.
Yeah, my wife has cystic fibrosis, so we are keenly aware of whenever she goes to the doctor or she has to be hospitalized, as she does once or twice a year for what we call a tune-up. She'll go in, and if a doctor has, say, 10 diagnostic tests at his disposal, he may not run all 10, but he's going to run 6 or 7 of those tests. And, we realize that a simple x-ray and a simple drawing of blood to do some blood work will pretty much, cover the diagnostic aspect of, we already know what she's in there. She was diagnosed at birth with cystic fibrosis. She's now, 38 years old. So we're not going in to discover anything new. But at the same time, we know that these doctors are, like you just said, they're because of the fear that if they don't run a test that they could have run and discovered something that they didn't discover, then the potential of their career taking a serious ding or possibly even being done away with. And then when you have studies like the ones that come out all the time that talk about how conventional medicine is one of the leading causes of death. So you've got healthcare today just in shambles and no one really wanting to reform it. And that's the boondoggle of the whole thing. Bob, real quick, how can people find out what you're doing? How can they get more of you and the things that you're involved with?
Yes, they can go to centerforamericatv.org. They can see some of these warnings. They're really there. They're not urban legends, and they can see how to enter the contest and maybe win that $1,000 grand prize in our 20th annual contest next year.
20 years y'all been doing this.
Hard to believe.
But it now explains everything.
Yeah.
Bob, thank you so much for being with us today. We really do appreciate it. That was this is really great, and we hope to have you back someday in the near future.
Real pleasure talking with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. That was Bob Jones from centerforamerica.org. And Chris, if that didn't put into perspective where we are as a nation,
might as well go home now.
The dumbing down of America, the work is complete. 504-556-9696. We'll try to do some more show when we come back if we're not completely depressed.
For what?
Oh, well, we'll be back. We'll be back after this quick timeout. Don't go anywhere. Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean, this is totally
gyroscope.
fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show. Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com. Playmakers Indoor Sports. TOTS program is one of Playmakers' most popular. Our professionally developed curriculum provides our TOTS with a variety of fun games and exercise in a positive, enjoyable, and exciting environment. These great games help your little one develop their motor skills, create confidence, improve their listening skills, and learn how to follow directions, all while promoting fitness and activity. Our TOTS groups range from 18 months to 7 years. Sign up your little tot today or call 504-305-6078. Playmakersindoor.com.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to ingodwetrust.com and get your hope today.
Hey folks, this is Jeff Cruere. Join me at 7 a.m. till 11 right here on WGSO 990 a.m. or Ringside Politics with a Punch. We're going to be bringing you great guests. We'll discuss the latest hot topics and, of course, taking your phone calls. On Tuesday, Steve Zabudowski joins us at BayouBuzz.com. We'll talk about the Senate race, presidential race, and more. And author Mary Claire Kendall will tell us about conversion stories of Hollywood legends. All of that and more right here on Ringside from 7 to 11 on WGSO.
Thank you for sticking with us on the battlefield. Chris and Trey on the Battlefield Live radio program and the Lanterns Radio Network, WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans. And Trey, got an interesting poll that came out. You talked briefly about it at the very beginning of the show, but I want to dig in a little bit on this CBS News poll.
Yes, let's dig.
Let's dig a little bit. So, one of the things that, has been kind of bugging the crap out of me is that Donald Trump has been reaching out to the Bernie Sanders crowd while at the same time ignoring or lambasting the conservative, majority. Is it a majority any longer of the Republican Party?
Oh, no. You talking about conservatives?
Conservative.
No. In fact, I have a piece that I'm working on. I'm going to publish it tomorrow that you can blame Trump on a lot of things.
Right.
But you cannot blame Trump on conservatives, and you cannot equate the Republican Party with conservatism. So conservatives are on the sideline on this one. And to all my conservative brothers and sisters out there who are hashtag never Hillary and who are not yet sold on voting for Donald Trump, you still got some time. But
so I want to address the never Hillary and the never Trump crowd here in a few minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a New York Times article that came out that said only 9% of America chose Trump and Clinton as a nominee. 9%. And what's really cool about this, I'm a tech geek, right? So there's this really cool interactive map. We'll actually post it on lanterns.buzz in our archives for the show that you can go check out tomorrow morning. But basically, what this is, it shows that there's 324 million people in America, and they have like a box in each square that represents 1 million people. So basically, think of it as 324 squares, right?
Right.
So as you scroll down, it kind of maps out the portions of this big square with all these little smaller squares in it, the different demographics in the country. So 103 million of them are children, non-citizens, or ineligible felons, and they do not have the right to vote. So out of the 324, is it 320? Yeah, 324 million, 103 million cannot vote. They don't have the right to vote. Children, felons, and non-citizens. Okay?
Right.
88 million are eligible adults, do not vote at all, even in general elections. So basically, there's a whole section, a very large subsection of the population, 88 million people that do not vote. They have the right to, they just don't.
Right.
Okay? So an additional 73 million did not vote in the primaries this year, but will most likely vote in the general. Okay? So that's a big, interesting block there because they don't know how they're going to vote. So in the primaries, you can get some voting, statistics, if you will, or polls based on how people have voted in number in the primaries. And of course, you got to look at some of those states where open primaries, people are Democrats and go vote Republican, and then they'll vote Democrat in general.
Right.
So another says the remaining 60 million people voted in the primaries, about 30 million each for Republicans and Democrats. It's pretty evenly weighted, right, in the primaries?
Sure.
So check this out. But half of the primary voters chose other candidates, all right? So like Ted Cruz and others, right? Just 14% of eligible adults, 9% of the whole nation voted for either Mr. Trump or Miss Clinton. To me, that's a pretty astounding statement, considering that Donald Trump, I think, won with 33% of the vote in the primary.
Was the 30? He definitely got below 40%.
Yeah,
which means that 60% of people, voted against him. I don't think he won 50% of any primary until New York, right?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is.
So he never won. So what you had was, it is clear now that Kasich stayed in the race as long as he did, only to pull votes away from Ted Cruz.
So let me ask you this as a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Does the Trump train, people on the Trump train,
right.
talk about the people that are running his campaign.
Right.
For the most part, it's most likely him, right? But let's play the game. Paul
Yeah, for the most
Manafort
part.
and the folks, the old Nixon folks, Stone and the bunch.
Yeah, the old Ukrainian prime minister folks.
Yeah. So they're all sitting in the boardroom smoking their cigars, and they say, you know what? We should just ignore them damn conservatives, and we should just go out there and look for them Bernie supporters, because those guys are on the fence. I don't care if they are, they're commies or what. We just like to get their vote. You think that was the conversation that took place? Maybe not in that accent?
Probably not in that accent, but yeah. And in fact, the new site, I'm still working out some kinks in it, but I wrote a piece a couple months back that never could have happened, has finally happened.
What? That's the name of the post?
Yeah. And basically the whole premise behind it was just the idea that Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump were holding, similar positions on certain key issues. And I laid out the things that Bernie had said. And even if you remember when MSNBC hosted a town hall, Mika Brzezinski actually read a quote that she said, "Who am I talking about here?" And she read it to him, if you remember that. And he said, "Oh, that's Donald J. Trump." And she said, "No, actually, that's Bernie Sanders." Like Trump didn't even recognize himself when he was or didn't recognize Bernie, that there wasn't any difference between the two.
Right. So I don't know. To me, there's a whole bunch of information. We'll actually dig into this a little more about how conservatives are not supporting Donald Trump. And it's not this never Trump thing. To me, and I wrote about it today, the whole Donald Trump complaint, or the people, the Trumpsters complaining about the never Trump, I would say that I'm probably most aligned with the people that are the majority of the conservative party, or the conservative ideological group. In other words, I'm going to probably most likely pull the lever for Trump unless he does something so stupid that insults me to the point that I won't do it. But, I'm going to hold my nose. I'm going to pull the lever because I don't want to see Hillary Clinton in there.
Yeah,
but I say that I'm probably in the majority.
I don't know. I don't know, dude. I really don't, because
how do you
at this point I don't, because first of all, I reject the logic that if you Chris Pilier.
I'm not talking about the logic. I'm just talking about the practicality of what's going to come about it.
Yeah, no, listen, I get that, but you can't. To me, you can't separate one from the other. If you don't go and vote for Donald Trump, you are not casting a vote for Hillary.
I understand that. I understand that. But first and foremost, I'm not going to sit home and not vote, and I'm not going to vote for a third-party candidate that doesn't have a chance. So, unless I see some big overwhelming poll that. Do you realize? Think about the stain, the taint that you will carry along with you. Don't go there. That you will carry with you for the rest of your life. What? I voted for Donald Trump?
You will be able to tell your grandchildren that you did not vote for Donald Trump. But on the flip side, imagine trying to explain to your grandchildren why you voted for Donald Trump, and simply saying that because you were not going to vote for Hillary Clinton will not be enough. They will not understand that. We cannot get Donald Trump hung around our necks as principled conservatives. He is not entitled to my vote. Republicans are not entitled to your vote. All I'm saying is, don't decide yet, but make them earn it. 504-556-9696 Chris and Trey to Battlefield Live, WGSO 990 AM. We'll be right back. Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean,
like
this is totally fascinating.
Gyroscope.
Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com. Join us at Playmakers Indoor South every summer and holiday for our multi-sport camps. $25 a day, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with before care from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and after care from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. available for $5. Soccer, flag football, basketball, wiffle ball, relay games, lacrosse, and much, much more. Plenty of spots available. Contact Playmakers Indoor Sports, 6124 Jefferson Highway in Harahan, or call 504-305-6078 or sign up today at playmakersindoor.com.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
This is the very beginning of what will be a long and comprehensive investigation.
And National Transportation Safety Board spokesman Robert Sumwalt says they did not find any pre-existing problems with that balloon that crashed in Central Texas Saturday, killing 16 people.
No evidence of pre-existing failures, malfunctions, or problems.
Donald Trump defending his comments about the parents of a Muslim soldier who spoke against Trump at the Democratic National Convention.
When something happens, I want to fight back. I always want to fight back.
After the father of that fallen Muslim soldier says that Trump has made no sacrifices and hasn't read the U.S. Constitution, Trump says it was a vicious attack.
That's part of the problem we have in this country. We never fight back.
This is USA Radio News.
Hi, it's Angie. All right, ovationhair.com. That's where you need to go. Why? Because people keep coming up to me and saying how nice my hair looks. Now, of course, they hear my commercials, and at first they're kind of joking like, hey, Angie, your hair looks great, because they've heard my commercials. And then they say, actually, you know what? It does look really good. And sometimes it catches me off guard, but it is a lot fuller than it used to be. And I know that because I used to wear hats a lot because it was so limp. So if you'd like to try out the Ovation Hair products, I think that their cell therapy protein and amino acid treatment is wonderful because it nourishes the hair and the scalp. It binds onto the hair shaft naturally, and it's noticeably thicker. My hair is stronger, longer, healthier, the whole 9 yards. And here's the other deal. No drugs or caustic medications. I don't want a lot of chemicals on my hair. So if you'd like people to walk up to you and say, hey, Angie, your hair looks great. Well, they'll say, hey, your hair looks great. Ovation Cell Therapy Treatment, it works. I love it. There's also a money-back guarantee. And when you check out, put in Angie Austin, Daybreak USA, and you'll get an introductory discount. Again, ovationhair.com, ovationhair.com.
This is Jeff Cruier with my commentary of the day. The media double standard is amazing. At the DNC, the Khan family criticized Donald Trump and talked about their son who had been killed in the Iraq War. As a Muslim family, they generated plenty of positive media attention, putting Trump on the defensive, asking Trump what sacrifices he has made in comparison to the Khans. But what sacrifices has Hillary Clinton made? She's made millions off of her, quote, public service. She didn't wear the uniform either, and she lied to another group grieving family. The mother of Sean Smith killed in Benghazi. She lied to Pat Smith's face. The media ignored her. They fact-checked her. Chris Matthews criticized her. So the media is only interested in certain grieving families, those who can promote the media's liberal agenda. So hopefully the American voters will not fall for this obscene pro-Hillary bias. Let's hope they realize the truth before it's too late. More info on this and the other hot topics of the day, check out ringsidepolitics.com.
What are you doing to stop traffic when your business is ready to wow the pants off customers? Visit Sir Speedy. We produce quality signs, posters, banners, and more that are just the trick for trade shows, promotions, events, and product launches. Whether you're taking it to the street, the floor, or the counter, bigger is always better. For more information or to get a quote, go to SirSpeedyNewOrleans.com.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to InGodWeTrust.com and get your hope today.
Thank you for joining us on the battlefield. Trey, I'm having a blast just flying through this hashtag that's trending right now on Twitter.
And what is that?
It's called Donald Trump the movie.
That's a hashtag?
It's a hashtag. And, dude, it's people they're hilarious, dude. They got
What, are they writing the script via Twitter?
And it is names of movies like Inappropriate Father of the Bride, and Trump is like grabbing on his daughter or whatever.
Oh, with the parrots in the background.
Yeah, they got one. It's called Blowback Mountain with him and Putin on the back of a horse.
Oh.
And they got another one called Little Hands on the Prairie. Oh, you just got to have a little bit of humor, dude. I mean, you got to join me in the laughter, dude. You just
I'm trying to get this computer to work over here.
May divorce be with you.
Neither an officer nor a gentleman. Yeah.
So anyway, so we got a caller.
We do. On the line right now, we got on line one, Mark and Kenner. Mark, welcome to the Battlefield Live on WGSO.
Hi, thanks for taking my call, gentlemen. I do agree that there are some significant issues with Donald Trump. I was a Cruz supporter, and I was certainly unhappy with a number of things. The Michael Moore comment that Bush lied, people died, and other things as well. So certainly, I'm very reluctant. However, I may still feel I have to go ahead and pull the lever, and that might be something I would need to defend to my grandchildren, and here's why. Right now, as I see it, if Hillary Clinton is elected, not only will she have Supreme Court nominations, but she'll have a lot of federal appellate nominations, and Obama's amnesty for illegals was only stopped because we have some conservative judges, or a conservative judge there in Texas, but those may be gone by the time Hillary is finished. I think she's going to open the border. I think she's going to run with amnesty. I think we're going to have 14 to 15,000 new voters, and with chain migration, it may increase in her 8 years to 20 or even 30 million. I should have said 14 or 15 million. Guess what that means, folks? That means a Republican will never be elected president for generations. So I don't see this as a time of a protest vote or even a vote on principle, because the alternative, in my mind, is basically a shutdown of the democratic process.
Okay, hold that thought. And Mark, don't go anywhere, because I want to kind of enter into a dialogue with this, because you've made some really good points, and I don't want to get it too far where I forget them.
Okay, sure.
So the Supreme Court argument for me is usually like the issue that I see that sways most Republicans that are on the fence, or voters who are more likely to vote Republicans who are maybe, have that trepidation to jump on the Trump train, so to speak. But there's three massive problems that I see with this logic. Number one, Trump has said that his sister, a federal judge, would make an excellent Supreme Court judge. Now, if you know anything about Trump's sister, she's a massive, flaming, pro-abortion liberal, okay? Now you say, okay, well, what about the 11 judges? He put out a list, and his campaign put out a list of 11 judges that he would, the kind of nominee he would put out there, right? Except that after Trump released that list, he said that there were other possible names that he could appoint. So he kind of, here's a list, but I'm not really sticking to that list. And number three,
I got you. Well, let me make a couple of responses to both of those. As far as the sister goes, I heard several interviews where he was actually confronted about that, and he said, "No, I disagree with my sister on abortion, and so I will not appoint her." So whether he means it or not, he did walk it back. As far as the others, the reality is he didn't even talk to those 11 people that he nominated.
Correct.
They may say no. So here's the deal. It's like you're asked, do you jump off a cliff into a pit of alligators, or do you open up a door that has what sounds like a tire behind it? Right now, I'm leaning towards the door because I know what will happen if I jump off the cliff to the alligators.
Sure,
right.
I think you make important points that Trump has left a lot of doubt in our minds. The problem is that's the only thing we have now is doubt, because with Hillary Clinton, there is no doubt. And again, I'm going beyond Supreme Court.
So, Mark, why not go third party? Well, let me hear your response to why not go third party.
Well, before you do, hold on.
A third party can't win.
Okay, so hold on real quick, because I want you to come back to that.
A third party can't win.
I agree. No, listen, I agree. I think if you vote for a third party, you're making a principled vote, but your vote has no chance of putting somebody in the White House.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so I want to go back to what you said about immigration.
The thing is, if let's say you live in Florida, now I'm lucky because I live here in Louisiana. I'm not voting for Trump.
Correct.
He's going to win.
He's probably going to win.
So I've got a win-win situation. I don't have to vote for Trump and try and explain it later because I know he's going to win. But if I lived in Florida or North Carolina or Ohio, I would go ahead and pull the lever for Trump because I wouldn't want a chance Hillary winning those states.
In those swing state elections.
Right.
Now, here's the other thing. You brought up immigration, and there's no doubt that Nancy Pelosi, I think, was the one who went on record as saying what basically would be Hillary's agenda moving forward. I think was the whole thing. But you brought up immigration, and my thought is, how is putting someone like Donald Trump in the White House to try to avoid an immigration debacle when you have people like Mitch McConnell and Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, who are basically open border Republicans?
Well, here's the deal. If indeed Trump and I actually think he will build the wall, and the reason I do is because of pride. The man is driven by ego. If he did not at least try to build a wall, and there's already money allotted for a wall from a bill that was passed when Bush was president.
That's right.
So he has a law that would enable him, at the very least, to start the wall. You're absolutely right. Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan, the Chamber of Commerce wants cheap labor, but the reality is there's a lot of conservative Republicans that won't. And if Donald Trump and again, he's driven by ego. He's not driven by principle.
Correct.
I've listening to you guys and watching has got me there. But ego will work for us sometimes. He's not going to damage his ego by doing something there. So that would be my response to that.
No, you make good sense, Mark. You really do. I mean, you're making great sense. I think this is the exercise that principled conservatives kind of have to continue to go through as we approach November. And you're absolutely right. We are fortunate here in Louisiana that we could almost are safe. We're safe enough to be able to make a protest vote and it not really make a difference. It's kind of like the career of Ron Paul. He puts all the pork into the bills, then rails against the bills, and then when the bills actually pass, his district would get the money. but his record was pristine because he'd always vote against the bills, but his district never suffered as a result of it, you know.
He had his fail-safe, and I didn't realize that, but you've got the facts, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. And so here we've got, I do feel we've got that safety valve.
Well, Mark, what do you think about, while we got you on here, what do you think about, the ego bet? You kind of brought it up, and we know he's got a big ego. So, I mean, do you feel like that's a safe bet considering how strong his ego is? Or
well, it's not a safe bet if he's able to be seduced by Putin into letting him take over Crimea and the rest of the Ukraine.
That is a very scary sentence.
Hey, you're a good guy, and Donald Trump, between ego and business, says, "Hey, we'll screw Ukraine. I'm going to make a business deal." That's repugnant to me. Mm-hmm. It's repugnant. I don't know how other people feel, and I certainly don't think we need to go to war to get them out of Crimea. But I have friends who are Ukrainian who know people in the Crimea, and I said, well, what's going on there? And they said, there's no more personal liberties. Once Putin took over, the knocks on the door at the middle of the night, if you criticize Putin, you're put in jail. It's the old KGB Soviet-style, jackboot. And it just boggles my mind that politicians, and now Donald Trump is saying, well, I may use the Ukrainians as a bargaining chip for better business deals. Yeah, that kind of ego nauseates me.
Right.
It nauseates me. But what I'm saying is Hillary Clinton is wrong on every issue, every policy. Donald Trump may, because of his ego, feel he has to do these Supreme Court justices because he said he would, or at least someone like them.
Right.
He may support federal judges. And here's the deal. If Donald Trump wins the presidency, there's a better chance that we'll hold the Senate and the House. If Hillary Clinton wins, it may be the coattail effect. Mm. So with Donald Trump winning there, it may mean holding the Senate and the House. And so while I don't agree with Ryan and Mitch McConnell on a number of points, like their immigration stance, if Donald Trump starts to get way off base, McConnell and Ryan will stop him. And hey, if he gets so far off base, they can impeach him because the Democrats will definitely vote with them.
That's true. I like that.
So, he's facing a lot more resistance. The founding fathers put some pretty good resistance in there. If he ticks off McConnell and Ryan bad enough on issues where he's just, hellaciously wrong and criminally wrong, then, hey, go for it. Impeach him, convict him, and put Mike Pence in.
Mark, great call, man. Thank you for your phone call. We really appreciate it. Call back,
again,
please,
Mark.
in the future.
Will do. Thank you guys for what you do. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. He makes a lot of good sense. And the only thing I go back to, Chris, is I've never been a never Trump guy. I'm still not a never Trump guy. I just want Trump. I want him to want my vote. That's all.
Well, the polls don't show that he's going to do that. We're going to talk about that after the break.
Okay, cool. We'll do that. 504-556-9696. One last chance to get into the show if you want to be a part of the program. Chris and Trey on the Battlefield Live on WGSO 990 AM and the Lanterns Radio Network. We'll be right back. Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean, this is totally fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com. Playmakers Indoor Sports is a state-of-the-art indoor turf facility offering leagues, drop-in play, field rental, parties, camps, clinics, and a whole bunch more. Play includes adult and youth in soccer, lacrosse, flag football, and more. For more information, go to www.playmakersindoor.com. Like us on Facebook at Playmakers Indoors South. 6124 Jefferson Highway, Harahan, Louisiana, 504-305-6078.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to ingodwetrust.com and get your hope today.
You're listening to the Battlefield Live radio program with Chris and Trey. And look, if you enjoy the show, you like what you're hearing, you can find us all over social media. You're not restrained to just listening to us at this time. You can listen to us at your leisure. Of course, we do want you to listen to us live, especially if you want to call us.
Especially if you want to call us.
Yes, we'd love to have the calls. Mark was a great call. 504-556-9696. You can find us on Spreaker.com. SoundCloud, YouTube, Google+, Stitcher, Google Play, Player.fm, iTunes, and just do a keyword search for Lanterns Buzz. You can find us there. And you can also find us on Twitter at Lanterns Buzz, and you can find me at Paul Revere on Twitter. I'm sorry, Paul Revere again. And you can follow Trey at T-Rob Radio. Also, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Lanterns Buzz. So, Trey, I guess my biggest concern is here, and look, I think this is what fuels that whole conspiracy theory that Donald Trump is trying to can the election for Hillary. There's a lot of polls out there that are showing that Trump is really struggling with conservatives, and it's obvious because he's been attacking conservatives.
Right.
And look, I watch even some of our friends on Twitter and Facebook hammering the Never Trump people. Give it up. If people don't want to vote for Trump, attack Hillary. There's a lot of people that are on the fence, and you're not going to convince them by constantly beating them up.
I agree. I do. I agree that you can't. It's just the entitlement mentality. That's the part that frustrates me. That's why I'm gonna keep hammering away at that point.
What you mean the entitlement thing?
Okay, so they'll say, "Hey, man, that's an argument that should have been made during the primary. It's not the primary anymore, and so you just got to give the guy your vote."
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is this is like a totally amateurish. I mean, give up the primary mentality. Don't waste time and effort on Ted Cruz voters. Ted Cruz is gone.
Right.
He ain't coming back, at least not until 2020 or whatever.
Isn't the bigger issue here, Chris? I just sent you a picture, and this is from our friend Andrew Chavarilla.
Right.
Okay. This is why. I mean, can you really trust a guy that eats Kentucky Fried Chicken with a fork?
I can't trust a guy that eats Kentucky Fried Chicken.
What? Dude, come on. I eat Kentucky Fried Chicken all the time. What are you talking about?
I'm in the Popeyes, bro.
Grilled Kentucky.
Grilled?
Oh, dude, their Oprah chicken is off the chain. I'll tell you all about it after this phone call.
Dude, you just got into the gayness.
Well, dude, that chicken is
skinless?
Off. No, it's not skinless. Chicken. It's got skin, but it's grilled, dude. It's the same chicken.
Why not eat if you're going to eat chicken from a fast food joint, why don't you eat the stuff with the crust on it?
Because it's fattening. I'm trying to be less fat.
Freaking fried chicken.
No, it's grilled chicken.
They don't have grilled chicken at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Are you serious? Dude, I eat like a 10-piece in the course of a day. It's just legs and thighs.
You're on a diet. You eat 10, 15 pieces of chicken
over the course of a day.
That's incredible.
Anyway, let's go to the phone lines and let's bring on our buddy Phil the Patriot.
Phil!
Hey, good evening, brother and sister, Christian American patriotic hostages. I'm called in tonight to help you fix the machine. Very, very soon, San Diego police officer Jonathan J.D. Guzman will be laid to rest. Jonathan's partner, police officer Wade Irwin, was severely wounded, in critical condition, and underwent surgery. Welcome to Barack Obama and his ongoing, escalating, and planned-out zombie thug apocalypse. Zombie thug murderer Jesse Gomez, 52 years old, was arrested for the murder and attempted murder of Jonathan J.D. Guzman and his partner Wade Irwin, San Diego Police Department. San Diego police officers Jonathan J.D. Guzman and his partner Wade Irwin are model police officers who, on a daily basis, risk their lives to preserve American law and order. I want everyone listening to remember this. America's policemen are America's first line of defense against domestic criminals and terrorists, and America's last line of defense against foreign invaders, as they were surely drawn up with the military to defend us. So
oh, yeah.
All right, so back to the serious discussion. Okay, we got to get serious here. Cane's, KFC, or Popeyes?
Well, if I go to Popeyes, dude, I've got to get their blackened chicken.
Blackened chicken?
Dude, it's healthier. You don't go to Popeyes
for healthy.
Listen,
that's
you
like
just lost almost 40 pounds.
I don't go to
You
Popeyes.
cannot be running to chicken joints and eating.
That's like all right, so this is the argument here. You go to the Volkswagen place to get a race car. I'm not going to buy a car at all.
I am going to a place that I don't have to get out of my car, grab something from out of a window, and I don't have to worry about the jaws of life having to pull me out of the car when I get to my house.
Dude, just don't go to the chicken joints.
No, I'm saying there's places where you can go. Listen, I'm not going to Panera Bread and spending $30 on a cup of soup and a little bitty small sandwich. They don't have any Schlotzsky's down here. And what am I going to? I don't want to go to Wendy's.
For you.
I don't want to go to Wendy's. Have you ever gone to Schlotzsky's, by the way?
That's freaking awesome.
Okay, thank you. Don't disparage Schlotzsky's on live radio.
Hey, did you hear that Trump plans to fight porn?
Dude, this is not conservative.
Tell me this is not, after he loses the election, that this would not be the best reality television show.
What, his administration?
No, him swooping in as like some kind of superhero to fight porn.
Dude, listen, I'm all for him. You know, anybody who wants to try to enforce the long ignored obscenity laws, okay?
What?
The long ignored obscenity laws to stop the explosion of hardcore sex videos.
It's such a cunning liquid.
That's studies show are rewiring teens' brains and feeding violence against children. Okay, but dude, his wife just got put on the front page of a New York tabloid.
That's why this is so amusing.
In nude photos that she took 20 years. He'd be banning. What about all the young Melania Trumps out there who are aspiring to be like the presumptive first lady of the United States. He's taking away their chance. How will they marry a 30-year-older billionaire and possibly become the first lady if he signs this? This is just like all the progressive anti-capitalists. All right, look, we got 30 seconds left, by the way, Chris. They tricked us with the music. So, look, check us out on Twitter. Chris at Paul Revere again. Me at T-Rob Radio. Go to lanterns.buzz. Check out the brand new site. Enjoy it while you're there. We write, we blog, we video, we broadcast, we do everything. And we'll be back here tomorrow. Same time, same place, WGSO, 990 AM. This is the Battlefield Live. Good night, NOLA.
It's Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. I'd like to introduce